and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Marie and this is my channel Made by Karen Marie. It's Friday. It's Friday evening even, which explains why the light in my living room is not great. It's an overcast day today and yeah, that always does something weird to the light in my living room. But I trust that you'll forgive me anyway, because I really wanted to film a Friday Sews and this was my only opportunity today to get anything filmed, because my youngest has a friend over, my eldest is sort of cleaning the kitchen, my husband is around, and yeah, there are simply no places to film when the house is full. So yeah, apologies for the bad lighting and for the lateness of my Friday Sews, but you know, it's all good fun, as they say. So yeah, I have had a really quite busy week despite it being my holiday. It's always like that on my last week of holiday, because that means that I'm sort of starting to panic about all the things that I wanted to do that I haven't done yet. So I was planning on painting this week, didn't happen. I planned on doing lots of house projects. Some of those did happen, which is why I've had quite a busy week. So yeah, some of the boring stuff that has to be done always has to be done in my holiday, because that's the only kind of time I have the energy to start some of the things that I have to do. So yeah, I have been tidying old clothes out of my youngest bedroom, because she is going through a growth spurt. So loads of her clothes were getting too small. And yeah, I've tidied away that and pulled some of the old clothes after my eldest out of the storage to see if, you know, my youngest wanted some of them, all that kind of jazz. Not very fun, but very satisfying when you kind of see everything kind of cleared up that you've been wanting to do for months. So yeah, I've been doing that. But in more sewing related things, I have also been doing some changes to my sewing space. I don't know if you follow Nikki from Pin Cut Sew. If you don't, I really think you should, because they're so much fun. She mainly does quilts, which is not the thing I do most of, but she also does some garment sewing, and she has this really laid back, chill kind of tone to her videos, which I really, really do like. I also have one of her patterns. She kind of sells some patterns on her Etsy page, and it's sort of a cup holder, kind of a coffee sleeve kind of thing. That was my most worn or used me made on my holiday. So yeah, I really do recommend going over to her channel and giving her a follow if you don't already. Sort of derailed there for a moment. The reason why I mentioned Nikki was that she had a video where she showed you how you can sort of get quilts done on a regular sewing machine. And she demonstrated her kind of adjustable desk, how she used that, so she can actually stand while she is quilting and everything. And it just got me thinking that that is a good idea. Up to now, I have used my late mum's sewing table, which I have loved, but it's always been a little bit too small because she never had an overlocker and I do. So I need to have 2 sewing machines on that little table. So I've been thinking for quite a while that I needed a new sewing desk. My youngest is going to have a new bed and we're going to make some changes into her room now that she's, growing. So she kind of took that desk now, and my husband very generously donated his adjustable desk to me that he used for his gaming computer, because he said, well, I never use that. I never stand while I game, so you can have that and I'll figure something out. So he very generously, good man that he is, donated me that desk. And even better, he even made all the changes, did all the kind of lifting and carrying and all of that jazz. He really is a good egg, that one, in the sewing room. So I am now sort of testing out my new desk. So we've sort of been doing those kind of things this week, and then he had to lengthen the cord on my overlocker because that was too short with a new desk. It's all that jazz. But the other main event this week has been my dad's birthday. So my dad turned 85 this year, and my sisters and I decided to have a proper birthday party. We kind of always have proper birthday parties because I grew up in a very rural area where the neighbors would drop in anyway with gifts and to have a coffee and stuff. So we always celebrated our birthdays with quite a lot of friends and neighbors. But yeah, this year it was a little bit more, a little bit extra. We had ordered in a big cake and all of that. But that also meant that while my sisters were like making the traditional sour cream porridge, I know it sounds awful, but it's really, really good. And cleaning the house and all of that, then I was doing kind of all the sort of cured meats and displays and the trays of all of that that goes with that traditional food. And obviously I also sewed my dad a shirt. I've talked about that in a previous video or two even, and I managed to sew him up the Wardrobe by Me Jensen shirt in this really crazy 70s fabric. He loved it, and he was very, very impressed by the fact that I had sewn it myself. But I don't have any pictures of him in it. I don't even know if it fits because obviously I gave it to him at the birthday party and I couldn't very well send him out to try on his shirt. So to be continued, I guess. And I hope to see him in the shirt sooner rather than later. And I hope to persuade him to let me take a picture of him in it too. The other thing that I've been sewing up, I've been sewing today. And it's what I'm wearing. And I'm going to take a proper photo and everything. But yeah, this is the Seasons of East Autumn in London dress, but I have hacked it into a shirt instead. They do have a blog post on how to do it. Really, really straightforward make. So basically you cut out all the pieces, but you lengthen the bodice. I lengthened the sleeves quite a lot, and then I just used a sleeve binding. So I just cut a straight sleeve and then I gathered it into this little sleeve binding right here. It's not very easy to see in such a busy fabric. So yeah, I think that was the only things that I did. So I'll just let you see very quickly here. This is a viscose crepe from Fabric Godmother. And it's a really, really wild print for me. I love a viscose. I don't love a crepe usually, but I just had to have this because I thought the fabric was so fun. So yeah, I just have like 2 notes on this. It was very, very difficult fabric to work with. It kept sliding and slipping, and it needed a really firm hand and lots of patience to get the collar neat and yeah, well sewn. So yeah, I really like the results. It's quite wild, and yeah, not really my style, but I really like it anyway. So the only other thing that sort of went a little awry is that you can see there's a clear difference between the shoulders. So this, on this side, it sits perfectly. That's exactly right on the shoulder there. But I did something weird here. So you can see it's more gathered. It has this kind of peak on top here. And yeah, I'm going to have to undo that seam a little bit and then move it a tiny bit in there so that it sits like it does on the other side. The original sleeve is pleated with sort of an inverted pleat on the top of the shoulder, but I just gathered this instead because I sort of I would rather have that look for this one. So yeah. Those were the two things that I managed to make this week. But now I'm really excited to tell you about a new little project that I've got going. And yeah, earlier this spring, I sort of announced on my community page that I really wanted to do a collab for the flaneur pants, which I did with the lovely Rebecca. And I'll link the video somewhere up there. But another person that reached out to me was the lovely Katrina from Sew Something Pretty over in Australia too. So yay for the Aussies and their community spirit and collaborations. And she said that even though she didn't want to sew up the flaneurs, she wanted to know if I was interested in sewing up a dress with her, which of course the answer was a resounding yes. So this summer, while I was in Denmark, we sort of messaged each other on Instagram quite a bit, and we decided to sew up the So Liberated Ember dress. This is a very new release from So Liberated, and I'm going to read a little bit about this dress now, and I'll put up some pictures too so you can have a look, but please do excuse me while I look at my computer. Okay, so Liberated says, with its subtle V-neck, classic princess seams and perfectly balanced puff sleeves, the Ember dress is a timeless heirloom. But its true magic lies in the waist ties, offering adaptability, comfort and dignity as your body moves through the seasons of your life. That's a bit of an oversell, I think, but okay. Ember is designed to grow and shift with you, never asking you to shrink to fit it, which, you know, is fine. And they say further down the site, they say the Ember dress is a loose-fitting pull-on dress with tied waist and a V neckline. The waist is tightened with ties on each side and gathered through a tie channel on the front and back. The V neckline is finished with a shaped facing. Choose between a 3/4 length or long sleeve in two different views, both with a gathered cap. So, yes, when I have to be honest, when I first saw the Ember, I thought, you know, it's a nice dress, but it didn't scream to me, you have to make me, or anything like that. But the thing that sells this dress to me are the waist ties. I don't really fluctuate through the day or anything, normally anyway, but I do think that it's such an interesting feature. I do like a bit of waist definition, seeing as I am pear-shaped. So the waist is definitely the smallest part of me. I don't like clingy or very tight-fitting clothes, even on my waist, but I do like that there is a clear definition on the waist, and I do love that you can cinch it in or out as you like. So that's what sold this dress to me too. I plan on making the one without the lace insertions, and I do plan on making the long sleeves. And you have sort of two different lengths, as I said, a 3/4 length or a full length. And I think that I'm going to do the full length sleeve this time. The reason why I want to try this is, one, because it's like nothing else in my wardrobe. So it's like something completely different. And the other thing is that it's only the 2nd of August, but autumn comes quickly here. So, I mean, like one day you're out in your shorts, the next day you're thinking about pulling out your long johns. Because it changes quickly here. So a long sleeve dress seems like a good idea. I plan on making it in a very dark navy blue viscose with no print. So it's a solid, which kind of, I mean, maybe that sounds a bit boring, but I need a dress that I can wear to all sorts of different events. So I think it's going to be a great dress that I can sort of zhuzh up for a good occasion, with maybe some jewelry and, you know, the hair up and heels and all of that kind of thing. But I think it also could work very well with a pair of tights and boots, and yeah, be more of an everyday dress. So that's what I'm aiming for in in this collaboration. So before I go on to tell you more about this, I'm going to splice in a little footage that the lovely Katrina sent me, and you can hear what she has to say about this and the version that she is planning on making.
My name's Katrina and I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm collaborating with Karen Marie. We have decided that together we would like to make the Ember dress by So Liberated. It was fairly newly released when we first were talking about doing a collaboration together, and I just thought it was a really it's a sort of a dress I think a lot of people would look good in. So that's the reason I picked it. It looked like it'd be really easy to wear, good for lots of situations depending on your fabric choice. I love the fact that you can put lace in the seams, and there's actually an example on that on the So Liberated website. I think it's a great dress. I think a lot of people like it. It's sort of a loose sort of fitting and then cinched in at the waist with a single sort of tie. So I really think this would be a good dress. I really hope it looks how I think it will. So thank you so much, Karen, for doing this with me. Collaborations are a really great way of being pushed out of your comfort zone and trying something new. And I have definitely found that with all the collaborations I have done. Everyone that I have done, I have come up with a dress that I absolutely love and I definitely wear. And the one behind me is my most recent one. I'll put a better picture in for you as well. So I did that with Violet May Handmade last year, and I just love the dress. I've worn it several times since, so it's definitely been a good inclusion in my wardrobe. And prior to that, I made the NYX dress by Closet Core. I love that dress. I wore it so much. So yeah, collaborations are a great way to be pushed out of your comfort zone. They can be a little bit scary. They do take a little bit of time and a little bit more of your attention, but just the results you get out of them are really worthwhile. So I hope you enjoy watching our collaboration. I really hope you'll come over and check out my channel. And yeah, thank you so much, Karen, for doing this collaboration with me. And I would really love it if you guys would join in as well. So thank you so much, and I'll see you over at my channel.
Yeah, that was Katrina. So thank you again so much, Katrina, for wanting to do this project with me. I can't wait to see your version too. And yeah, I think this is going to be good fun. So we are going to try to sew up the Ember dress in August. I have ordered the AO for this because there are quite a lot of pages for this dress, seeing as there are multiple options and all of that. So if you plan on making it and you want to post it on Instagram, it would be lovely if you could tag myself and Katrina so that we can sort of keep pace with you. There's no like separate hashtag for this little one because it isn't really collaboration as much as a sort of project that we're doing together. But please do tag us because we would love to see your makes if you want to sew up the Ember. The last thing I'm going to say about this is that So Liberated just released another pattern. It's a bag pattern, I think. And as far as I can see, they have a sale, a site-wide sale of 20%. So if you wanted to grab the Ember, now's your chance to get it a little bit cheaper. What do I have planned apart from the Ember dress? So on Monday, I start work again. I'm really joking. I love my job. It's just, you know, there are a lot of wheels that have to start turning again when you've had your holiday and yeah, you're going back to work. You have to sort of get everything started again. It's always a bit slow the first couple of days. You have to sort of get back into the get back into reality, but it's fine. But I have other things planned too. I really want to make up the Wardrobe by Me perfect tunic. And suddenly there's a very loud fly here that wants to join the party, but yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's one of their older patterns. I finally, you know, stuck together the pages. It was only 26, so it wasn't the massive job or anything, yesterday. And I have the perfect fabric for it, and I bought that from Fabric Godmother. And I really, really want to sew that up for work mainly, and I want to sew it up sooner rather than later because it's kind of a thin shirting, so it's more of a summer, autumn kind of fabric. So I really want to sew that up as soon as possible. But I have that pattern ready and I really want to sew it up. So I think that's going to be sort of the next project while I wait for the AO printout from Stitch that for my Ember dress. But the Ember dress has priority in August, obviously. So that's the main thing that I want to sew, but I haven't got the printouts yet. So I may have a go at the perfect tunic while I wait. Anyway, that was it for me this week. I'm very interested to hear what you think about the Ember dress pattern. Is that a pattern that you think you would wear? Katrina and I are very different in sort of shape and size and taste and all of that. So I think it's a good idea for us to make this pattern to see how different that turns out on both of us. But we would love to see more. And yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you think of that pattern. What do you think of those kinds of patterns? Is that something you would sew up? And if so, would you be able to post it and tag us? We would really love to see it. It doesn't matter if it happens in August or not, because obviously it's not a challenge or anything. So, you know, you can feel free to post it any old time. But yeah, I'm really, really interested to hear what you have to say about that. And what do you think about my very wild shirt? I don't know if I dare go to work in this shirt. I'll work on my courage. Let's say that. I just have to fix the little issue with the sleeves now, and then I think I'll be ready for it. That's it for me this week. I will be back soon with another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.